Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo, that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright, let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Solo un par de gente se llama el putín entero. Money, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo, that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright, let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Solo un par de gente se llama el putín entero. Money, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo Lunes. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo, that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright, let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Let it run too much, guys, and then we'll dive into it. Yeah, we won't keep you guys waiting, but very excited about tonight's guest, and I think you guys will be as well.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah, I know.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SC Project branding logo, that's on here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. And we're also gonna change the kickstand knob, guys. Alright, let's take a quick look at the
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I roll over something.
Solo un par de gente se llama el putín entero. Money, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero yo
What's good, everybody? Mike's in the building. Welcome to another Freestyle Sunday. Super excited for our guests for tonight, guys. Hopefully you guys are as well, because, of course, if you've seen some of the promo, it's going to be MrBlackMoses, a local Philly native. When I say local, not New York local, a Philly local. All right, very interesting guy that has an interesting career throughout our industry, our niche industry, I would say. And but before we dive into everything, guys, I'm gonna do what we do, and we're gonna greet everyone that's part of the chat that's here to show love and support and dropping comments. Of course, always appreciate everyone. I'm already seeing some faces here that I recognize. I see 650 Eves in the building. He's actually I've actually seen some photos of him. And MrBlackMoses is online, so of course, that's always a good look. All right, so here we go. We'll do our normal meet and greet here. All right, we have Donna Mains in the building. What's up to you, sir? Always appreciate you tuning in. And a usual suspect, Governor D Nice was goody fellas, and good evening to you and Mrs. Anna B. Yeah, man, she's always here showing love and support. And of course, we tend to grow a little bit as we go through the night because people start showing up very early on. But I'm always very happy for anybody that's tuning in. And of course, 650 Eve's in the building. I've heard of him. He's my son, 100. There you go with the smack talking already. You know he could hear you. Well, you can see your comment. Do you want to rebuttal to that? You know what, y'all? I'll bring Alan on himself so he can rebuttal to that. All right, let's just. Oh man, there you go. This is gonna be a great night already. Alan, you have the floor, man.
What's good? Yo, 650. What's good, brother? Yo.
Oh man.
650 is a good dude. I consider him a dear friend. And yeah, he's good people. He's good people. We're gonna talk about that Sun comment, off camera. We'll get that sorted out and straightened out. But yeah, he's good people. He's good people.
That's the funny thing. That's one thing I love about this. Out of your article that I read, one of the key things that stood out to me immediately, he said our industry is so small, so niche that you can sneeze on the East Coast and someone says, what? You tell me.
So if you sneeze on the East Coast, somebody's going to say, God bless you on the West.
Yeah. And then you could just see the camaraderie right here. Just, you already bumping heads with Eve that you already know him, which is awesome. So let's get back to it real quick. I'll continue greeting people, and then we'll bring Mr. Allen back on, guys. Again, guys, I can't stress this enough. This guy is a local legend, guys. I mean, for those of you that don't know, you should know. And I think it's very important that we highlight talent like this and people that's instrumental in our community, in our industry, and not to allow them to go dormant or unseen. So, yeah. All right, let's see who else we got here in the building. Oh, see, there you go. He mentioned he's a legend. Indeed, sir. Yeah, man. And let's see, we got Futuristic Viper in the building as well. Another usual suspect that's always here showing love. Love that. We have 5 Up. Great guy, man. Alan, I think you would totally get along with him as well. He's a good friend of 650, even in mine as well. So we have Jason Chinook.
Big brother right there. That's my favorite.
Yeah, people are showing up, man. If you're here, you're tuning in, you're here for Black Moses, you're here for the stream, hit the thumbs up. We'd appreciate it, guys. We have a lot to cover tonight. Lots of great stories. Man, 650. Who's your grandson in this industry? That's Futuristic Viper. We always have the friendly banter back and forth. We have Fresh Oil and Company Sub AI. Welcome, guys. So we'll just keep this short. I'll probably go back to the comment section, but for now, let's kind of just highlight a little bit what Alan does in our industry and him going by and him and what he brings to the table. Just want to kind of quickly highlight this, guys. Really great to kind of have him. This is a little precursor to what he does in our industry. Let's take a quick watch, and then from there we'll jump into the interview real quick, guys. It won't be too long. Sit back. You're gonna enjoy this one. Check it out.
Life in the Fast Lane is a documentation of everything that I do. Racing. My position in the Philadelphia, no, not just Philly, but abroad, regionally, nationally, but specifically at home base, is one of an ambassador. My attitude is if you ride, you ride. So therefore, we're family. I feel really good about the work that I've done that has allowed me to get to this position in the community where, you know, I know them and they know me, and it's all love.
I don't know if you guys spotted that, but there was a clip of him and the Kentucky kid. We're talking about Nikki Hayden. Huge deal that is in the building as well. That is really, really dope, man. I actually have to ask you about that. But guys, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Black Moses. Welcome, sir.
My name, Mike, was good. Listen. I have to say right out the gate, thank you for this opportunity and for this exposure. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, man, my hope is to be your most electrifying guest yet. that's to be your most electrifying guest yet.
I'll take it. I'll take it, man. So just walk us through some of your journey so far. So I mean, there's so much for us to cover. Again, I've looked up quite a bit of information about you that is extremely interesting. We're talking about you working with the iconic brand Icon for years and on before influencers was a thing. So you were in the streets impacting people with you and Jason, right? Yeah. And you being locally known through the Philly streets. So just kind of walk us through that and your journey a little bit.
I mean, I'll give you, I can give you the long version or the short version, but I'll just give you the guts of it. I started out in Philly as a street rider, late bloomer. I didn't start riding until my late teens, very early 20s. My older brother, Gregory, actually got me into riding, and he actually wound up being a state trooper in Pennsylvania, and he retired corporal. But before he got there, he was equivalent of, oh man, he was the hooligan. He was the hooligan, terrorizing the streets, you know. And so I put it like this: my brother Gregory is, if you watched Bad Boys the movie, you got Mike Lowry and you got Will Smith's. Mike Lowry was Will Smith, and Marcus Barnett. Okay, you take two of them, those two guys, you put them together, and that's my brother Gregory. So just I had him as someone who was just super adventurous and just I wanted to emulate him. But I saw it to our parents just with the making them nervous all the time, the constant heart attacks from them just doing what he was doing on the streets. So I waited, and then when I got involved with the industry, I realized that not only was I in love with motorcycles, I was in lust with motorcycles. And that was a great thing for me to figure out, because it meant that, okay, I realized that the motorcycles is not a hobby. It's going to be my life. How do I get involved beyond just being a rider? How do I get involved with making it part of my DNA? And that was where the plotting of the course began. My first real job in the motorcycle industry was working for a gentleman by the name of Geraldo Faraci. I was
just about to get into that.
You want me to pause?
No. What's interesting to me, all right, guys, for those of you guys that might know this story, so Alan worked at a bank initially, all right? Solid career.
You did this. Okay.
Come on, let's go. Come on. This is not a game, okay?
Which bank was it?
Oh, that I don't know. Oh.
Okay. Hey, bro. Research. Okay.
But I'm putting in work. Come on. I'm not going to have you on willy-nilly and waste your time. This is good stuff. So, funny thing is he worked at a bank, solid gig, doing well, right? Across the street, of course, a Ducati store is across the street. He quits his job and buys a 620. Walk us through that. Because here's not just you quitting your job and buying that bike, really being a black guy working for an Italian company, and how people where you took some of the unexpected energy, I would say, and turned it to the positive. Based on from what I've read, it's really about how people interpret you, like, oh, maybe is he a rapper, or maybe he's a bodyguard. but then to the point where it got such a connotation where people kept on bringing, oh, this big black guy worked for a Italian company, to the point where they're using you now as a pawn to sending you to events. So walk us through that. I want to know. Tell us the story.
Listen, this whole interview, this whole opportunity, we're going to keep it 8 more than 92. We're going to keep it straight 100, okay? When I left, when I left the bank, I was a manager. They had promoted me to manager. And what it was, what I've realized is that my wife and my parents, they tell me it's my personality. I don't know what it is, but I have a thing with my personality where I can get along with people and people want to get along with me. Like, I like being in the room, people like being in the room with me. So when I was working in customer service at the bank, it was awesome because I didn't have any real responsibilities other than being friendly and nice, getting people set up and solving problems. But when they make you a manager, bro, okay, all the fun goes away and it's all on you. And I realized that I was not excelling, that was not my truth, my person of who I was. And let me back it up. I went to high school with Aeriel Faraci's kids. So
I know. I was gonna bring that up. It's funny how the universe worked because you went to school with his kid, and then you ended up working for him. Yeah, I caught those Easter eggs.
Universal balance, man. It's universal balance. When the opportunity arose, and I knew who Mr. Faraci was. I still to this day call him Mr. Faraci. We just texted last week. He was asking me if I was going to be at Daytona. I still call him Mr. Faraci out of respect for what he's done and what he's done for me. So I knew who he was. Obviously, having gone to school with his Abington Senior High class 93. Whoop, whoop. It was an opportunity for me to, what I was talking about, making it part of my DNA.
Yes.
The window opened. I didn't tiptoe into it. I straight body bagged. All of me went into all of it. And to this day, of all the things that I've done, that is one job. When I worked for someone else, that is the one job that I loved. I loved that job. I love working for Mr. Faraci. I love the Faraci family. They treated me like an adopted son, and it had nothing to do with my size, the color of my skin. Aeriel Faraci, I'm going to say this, didn't give a fuck what color anybody was. He cared if you were fast. He cared if you were smart. He cared if you had common sense, and he cared, most importantly, if you were a hard worker. Those were the qualities at that time. I couldn't make Mr. Faraci laugh. It's my personality and bubbly, whatever. It had nothing to do with it. Mr. Faraci saw what I responded to was his response to hard work. Okay. I'm surrounded by motorcycles every day. I have legend signing my checks. I was in heaven. Absolute best job, hands down, that I've ever had when I had to work for somebody else, when somebody else was signing my checks. I don't know if I might have on a tangent there. Did I answer your question?
No. You answered it. I just wanted to kind of hear that storyline because there's quite a few different paths that we can take when we're talking about the start of your career and where it went. And I really thought that was really cool on how you went to school with his kid and you ended up working for him. Now, one thing that I think that's really interesting about working, and we all know that could be challenging working with different people that doesn't look and talk and grew up the same as you. But I love the fact that you mentioned that this guy saw your character as the key thing, really. If you're a hard worker, that's what's key, what's important. And that's how you really have to judge someone, not really just on the blatant. So that's kind of a really, really cool setup. But my thing to you is, what were some of the challenges that you encountered? Because I did notice that you had some friction where you would go to events where you're representing a booth, right? You're representing that brand. Of course, they're known, and people were constantly mistaking you for a security guard or something like that. And to some people, I think they would probably get frustrated to some degree. But the way I saw your story arc is that you took that as stride and use it as a way to say, hey, I'm not what you expect, and you didn't have a negative reaction. So tell me about that.
Look, sometimes the best reaction is no reaction.
Okay.
Sometimes the best reaction is no reaction. Sometimes you have to be the watcher. Sometimes you have to be the listener. And sometimes the very last thing that you do is react. Sometimes if you don't do anything, things kind of take care of themselves. Okay. That's saying if you give somebody enough rope, working for the Faraci family, Mr. Faraci would send me to be part of, like, say, for like IMS was the show at the time, or other events where there were booths, and it was a lot of who let you into the gated community vibes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is what was by. Honestly, I didn't feel that from other people in the industry. People were like, oh, that's cool. Araldo hired somebody that can actually do work. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So from the industry point of view, it was kind of like, oh, great, good for Araldo. He's got somebody that's, that's really going to help move things along. But it was from a lot of the customer base, that certain level, that certain ilk of clientele, they were very stern in their ideologies. Does that make sense?
Basically, they're not accustomed to change, something different.
I can't remember how many times someone's asked me which bike was mine, and I told them, and the response was, oh, I thought you would ride a Busa, or I thought you would ride something else. And it was kind of like, what's the point of even saying that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I just told you that's my bike. Why are you telling me that you thought I would ride something else? As if to lead me in to say, well, why would you think that? And so going back to not reacting, I wouldn't react and I wouldn't say anything. Like, I just told you what my bike was. There's no need for me to repeat myself. You just told me everything about you. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day.
Well,
if you need any help on the showroom floor. That's
one good thing about this exact situation. It might have not been very apparent to you during that time, but I think, actually, I shouldn't say think. It might have not been apparent to you, but during that time, you were really setting ways for other people that's not the regular to be in that industry, and make it very acceptable for people to be able to see that and not have that reaction. Because to some point where Faraci kept on sending you into these events, you started using it to your strengths, where you stood out, you're different, and you're a good salesperson. And you started building really great connections. So we're really kind of transitioning here to you talking about you working with, for example, Icon. I'll give me a second. I just want to kind of definitely play this for people. I thought it was a very hilarious thing. Take a quick look at this, guys. But I thought it was a ridiculously funny situation that.
I have no idea what you're about to show.
Oh, I know you don't, and that's the best part. I love the fact that I'm fully controlling this, and and people cannot see it. Hold on. Check this out, guys.
I heard Black Moses. If you mention that name, it parts the doors of any club in Indianapolis. That's just a word on the street. Black Moses, you say it, and all of a sudden, the water parts, the fish go to both sides, and you're straight in the door.
So I told Justin, I can be whatever Icon needs me to be because I'm comfortable with my relationship with Icon.
So, oh yeah, I got all the goodies, brother. I got all the goodies. So the reason why I played this clip again, you talk about sometimes not saying anything is a good thing. And in this particular situation, the gentleman you just saw, he wanted to spearhead an Icon event on his own without having you being the MC or at least co-host. So I think that's a very interesting approach when you're saying not doing anything. And even though you did allow it to play the way he thought it'd be great for him, it really was to your favor. So I thought that was a very classy way of handling the situation. So yeah, in transitioning to that, man, walk us through you working with Icon and how that came about and all the years you've put in work with them.
Thanks, man. Look, this is where I have to give props to Big Brother Jason Britton and Big Sister Kendi Britton. I tell people all the time, I went to the Kendi Britton School of Business. I learned by watching. And for those that don't know, Kendi is Jason's wife and manager. So I started doing an event in Philadelphia called Clutch Control. And the first year that we did it was 2007. And I just announced, sidebar, shameless plug, I just announced the 2022 Clutch Control event, September the 17th of this year. Make sure you mark your calendar for that. The very first one, I was putting it together and I said, I need a talent, I need something. And Jason had SuperBikes on CTV at the time. So I went to his website, I saw the number, sent Jason an email. Jay, you want to come to Philly, do a show? He said, yep. He came out, we rocked it. It was just synergy. Like he and I, we just vibed straight away. And of course, Kendi, they just like adopted me. I was all automatically little bro. Prior to that, I just fell in love with the style of what Icon was bringing to the table, as far as the leather, the look, the durability, the functionality, and the protection qualities of Icon's apparel and helmets. It just fit me. It fit my personality. And so when I started working with Jason being the godfather of stunt and so interwoven into Icon's history and legacy, it was through Jason that I got to meet Kurt and the gang over at Icon. And again, it was one of those things where there was just synergy. Things just made sense. And so Icon brought me on as an ambassador. And again, as you mentioned, this was before the term influencer or even brand ambassador was being used. It was, okay, you get what we're about. You ride motorcycles and you're active in your community. We would like for you to represent our brand. And that's how it happened. And then after that, relationships just kept growing. You start a relationship, you build it, you maintain it, you nourish it, and you just keep growing. And that's the path that was taken with Icon. And even to this day, they are very, very, literally, when I say Icon is very protective of me, I mean it not just because of the apparel and the helmets and the armor and what have you. Icon's been very protective of me since day one. So I love those guys. Kurt, everybody, Amanda, everybody over there. They take really, really good care of me. Derek, everybody. That's me over there. Neen, I see you, Neen. That's a home. Much love to you.
That's definitely a really great feat, I got to tell you, because Icon is a brand that is really known through our industry, and they've been around. I feel like a lot of us newer guys, I consider myself a newer guy, just in context to where we are right now, guys. We're talking about a brand ambassador before, your Twitter, your Instagram, your YouTube. This was from the ground up, a physical person that was attending every event. People knew him, shaking hands and really sealing deals. So it's a very different thing. And even now, to this day, Icon's a very difficult brand to kind of get in, I'd say in bed with, could kind of, be trustworthy, where they would probably sponsor a rider. And there's a lot of that going on.
The concept of the castle getting bigger and the circle getting smaller. And that's not just with Icon, that's across the board. And not to go off on a tangent, but I also think that social media, that's a byproduct of the explosion of social media. Whereas organizations and companies have decided that we really need to be very, very tactical about who we align ourselves with. Yes. So in that regard, the world has gotten much, much bigger. So your circle, big world, small circle.
I agree, but here's a thing that I think that's really interesting too. I think for a lot of people will find this interesting. You're from the era of not only the beginning of riding in the streets with people. You've done a lot of track days, but more importantly, I want to just kind of talk about you and what you do for a living, guys. If you are unaware, Alan here runs a magazine company as well. He also have a coffee shop boutique, Hard Knocks Coffee. Really, really dope. I'll kind of highlight some of that stuff and show you guys. But right before we jump into this clip, guys, I just always feel like it's right that we kind of show this. Let's take a quick look at see.
You make me nervous, man. When you start talking about
No. Do not be nervous, sir. This is, I think it's well deserved. That it's a thing that we're talking about, and it's always a great thing to highlight people that are doing amazing thing. And I think, guys, this is a great opportunity. Whether you're watching the stream live, you're watching this later, make sure you hit the thumbs up. It's great to look up MrBlackMoses, of course, aka Alan. Give him a subscribe. I'll leave his YouTube channel in the description after the stream, so you can definitely check him out. Take a quick look at what he does for a living and how he impacts the industry.
I've been blessed to be able to make my life out of motorcycles, the business of motorcycles. I am a publisher of Sport Bike Sync magazine.
There you go.
I've been blessed to be able to make my life out of motorcycles, the business of motorcycles. I am a publisher of Sport Bike Sync magazine. I'm also the editor-in-chief. The company Hard Knocks Motorcycle Entertainment, that's something I launched a few years ago. Always on the go. Always on the go. I'm usually home. When I'm home, I'm usually home for maybe a 4 or 5 day stretch before I'm up and out. And this week is no different. The Belmont Plateau. You go there on a Sunday afternoon for no reason at all, real quick and easy. You'll find 300 bikes.
Guys, I don't know, man. Hopefully you didn't expect any of this, Alan, but it's all good, though. Yeah. So walk us through the magazine company, and I want to hear your take on it, because I'm from the time when I was in school doing design. We were doing a lot of, hand design work. Then we went to using like Quark, using computers, doing page layouts. Then that went out. Then we went to PDF, digital files, sending out PDF via email. And then slowly but surely, papers going out. Now we're going towards video media. You're seeing, of course, myself is probably part of that movement, eBiz, and a few others. Just walk us through you being in that business and how your impact is now moving forward, and because you're a guy that's always moving. What I've realized also is that the reason why you're around and you have such a strong name throughout the industry is the fact that you don't get comfortable. It keeps moving. As things are changing, you're changing in order to stay current. So walk us through that and walk us about the magazine. That's really cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's just touch on what you just said. It's evolving. You know what I mean? I can sleep when I'm dead. And universe willing, that's a long time. That's a long time away. So I got a lot of moving to do. I got a lot of growing to do, and I have a lot of learning to do. But to specifically talk about the magazine, I learned from, and this is honestly from Mr. Faraci himself. I learned that if you have an opinion, it remains just an opinion. But if you believe it, it makes it reality, even if it's just your own reality. So it's having conviction. And so using my experiences from good, bad, worse, or indifferent, I realized that I had a point of view. And it was from Mr. Faraci that I realized how to execute my opinion, or you understand what I'm saying? My point of view, how to articulate it. I've always been gifted with the words. I've never had a problem not speaking my mind. I've never had a problem not talking. When I started realizing that opinions mattered, and through my newfound network, or my fastly growing network, I was able to connect with a magazine called Two Wheel Tuner at the time.
Okay.
And Two Wheel Tuner, and they went by the side. but I was a contributing editor for that magazine for a number of years. And that's kind of where, if you want to say, I made my bones. I learned a lot about writing articles and structuring of magazine. And I'm going to take you back. When I was a kid, I was always into fashion, okay? GQ, Harper's Bazaar, Vogue. When I was a kid, I mean like high school, junior high school, I used to get the annuals, those, those fashion magazines used to have annuals or fall or spring editions, which were about 3 times the size of the normal magazines. And I would go and I would buy them. And I would look, and it wasn't so much I was looking at what they were wearing, or it was the design aspect. That's what I loved it. And I actually I studied art in high school. I went to Tyler School of Art, obviously didn't finish because I moved on to other things. But my idea for concept design, art execution, all came into play. So fast forward, working for Two Wheel Tuner, and then that magazine went by the wayside. But when you work for the company, you realize, they let you know, hey, this is going to be our last issue. So you might want to figure some things out. The last issue, I got that email in May of 2010. I think the last issue came out in June or July. I launched the first issue of Sport Bike Sync magazine in October of the same year, because once I got the note, I was on that high. I was in the industry. I was part of the machine. I had motorcycles. I wrote about motorcycles. I was writing about gear, helmets, apparel. I was writing about events. I was someone to myself in the industry. I mattered to me because I was doing something in the industry. The benefit of it is that when I went to events, people were like, oh yeah, you people recognized me. And and that was during the time of the bling bling. So that's when Myrtle Beach was popping. That's when you could go. You understand what I'm saying? That's when bike nights were like big production movies. Everything was the golden age of it was. Oh, you know what? If you think about Biker Boys, the movie,
yep.
Okay, that whole era. And if anybody has not seen it, you can say what you want about the movie, but if some people say, well, that's all that we have. It's not all that we have. It's they took the highlights of the lifestyle and they put it into 2 hours. And so for that, high praise. I think they did a good job. They accomplished a lot. But that era of being in the industry, I was riding that wave. I did not want it to end, and I wasn't going to let it end. I realized that my network was expansive. I knew so many people. You know what? I can write. What's stopping me from doing my own magazine? And that's something I actually asked myself. I remember the day I looked in the mirror and I said, what are you going to do? I'm going to do my own magazine. And Jason Britton and I, we were on tour because I was still emceeing for him. And I told Jason about it. And Jason asked me, he said, so you're going to do Sport Bike Sync? Okay, that's cool. So when the first issue came out, Jason texted me, he said, oh, you meant INC. I thought you meant INK as in like ink on paper. I was like, no, man, Sport Bikes Incorporated means the whole incorporation of Sport Bikes. But that was the beginning of me as a publisher. And
okay.
I just took everything that I learned about what worked, what didn't work, and then just being a strategic dice roller. If there's a good enough chance that I'm going to win, I'm going to roll the dice. I'd rather say I rolled the dice and lost, but I took a chance as opposed to saying, I never rolled the dice. No, roll the dice, damn it. And that's what I do. And I was fortunate enough that the universe said, okay, we see you, let it ride. That's how I started the magazine.
So is it the same? So to my understanding, it's still the same magazine that you're running now, except now it's just digital, correct?
That's correct. It was always digital.
Always, okay.
It was. I always saw that. I love, to this day, I still purchase paper magazines. I love that tactility. I love being able to feel papers. But I saw, at the time I didn't know, but at the time I thought, well, it's way less expensive to publish a digital magazine and that idea was in my head because I know that a lot of magazines were going by the wayside because of the debts that they could not pay to their printers. Okay, there was a lot of magazines that were in the red because they owed their printers hella money. Okay, I want to start a magazine. I just saw someone else go under because of that, allegedly. Why would I sign myself up for the same way? What's next? And that became the digital format. And I ran with that. And so today, what Sport Bikes Inc. magazine is today, what I call the SBI feed, even that has been modified and that's evolved, where it's going from just the flip book digital magazine into a daily feed of motorcycle, moto edutainment, lifestyle information, bike reviews, gear reviews, events, all of that, but much more on a readily daily routine. No one's waiting anymore. No one's going to wait 30 days for a magazine to come out to find out who won the race this morning. Okay, no one's going to wait. So you get the information, you make sure it's correct, and you run it, and you make it look nice. You make it look nice. Aesthetic is clutch. See what I did there? Aesthetic is clutch. You're welcome. Well, I'll tell you, it'll be the most electrifying. You are cheesing so hard right now. Look at you. Got him. I'm having a good time, man. Thank you. Listen, so it's so it's making sure that things look nice. And then of course we still do the monthly digital book, and we also do our weekly email blast, which is more of a digest of what just happened in the week. So it's it's the love. I found something that I feel that I'm really good at. Sometimes great. I can always be better. And I've just figured out, I made a choice. I said, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I stuck with it.
Okay. I have a good question, though, regarding that whole premise. So what's your thought? Because I know right now what's happening between the digital magazines, you're starting to see a lot of move of social media influencers going towards the journalistic side of things, right? It's a means of an entrance because everyone's looking for a path to kind of find their own success. Some just do moto vlogs. Some of them is like me doing streams on Sundays. No, I kid. Yeah. But some people are doing journalism.
Pause. Do not cut yourself short. This is rad. This is rad. So short, bro. This is needed and necessary because, let me give you your props right now. This is, hold on.
Time for my flowers. My flowers.
Yeah, your flowers, bro. You have to understand that when we have brothers like us, and I'm going to, again, keep it 8 more than 92. There is a lack of people that look like us or people related to us making moves in our industry. Now, I've been very fortunate to align myself with companies that value hard work, and integrity over color of skin, over all of that, okay? I've been fortunate. So when I see a brother like yourself putting in work, the damn detective found out I used to work at a bank and all that stuff. You are, and I'm telling you this, Black Moses is telling you, you are necessary, needed, and appreciated. Damn it.
Thank you.
Hashtag Black Moses certified. Okay?
I will take it.
Hashtag Black Moses certified.
I will take it. just to run back to what I was saying. So what's your take on everyone kind of, because we're seeing a little bit of a tug and war a little bit with influencers, amateur journalists or videographers stepping into the realm of reporting on things, just like your digital magazine, which I think is completely official. You've earned your stripes. You started from the ground up. If you make mention of something that's of importance, parts or recommendation, events of something like that, I think it's something that's important and people will take it as word of law. But now we have a lot of people coming along, just kind of spewing things, or at least for clout or whatever it may be. So I just want to kind of hear your take on it. And also, do you see the magazine going towards the digital route as well by doing a lot of video work as well?
Sure. Honestly, here's my thing. Anybody can say whatever they want. Okay. You have to use discernment. The difference between a journalist and a social media influencer is that it's a level of education, a level of knowledge, and a level of understanding. Mm-hmm. And you have to, as a journalist, you have to be able to remove your personal opinion about things and get down to the real specs. Motorcycles are not as difficult to talk about. And I think that's the easy end. Oh, I've been riding this, I do this, bop, bop, bop. So I'm qualified to talk. I've got this many followers. So I'm qualified to talk.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, anybody can talk about whatever you want. But as listeners, how we receive that data, how we process that data, we have to use discernment. There's a lot of people out there that don't know shit. But they think they do. And you can't tell them that they don't know shit because they have so many people that follow them. If you think about the word follower, you know what I mean? You have people that are following other people. You have to, and there's a difference between reading what someone wrote, being a scribe, being a journalist. Mm-hmm. You have to know what you're talking about. Otherwise, people can get hurt. I mean, the worst of it, people can get hurt. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? It's like at the very worst end of the scale. At the least, people are going to be misinformed. So to answer your question specifically, I think that if you are a social media influencer and you want to be a journalist and you want to use your platform to talk about what you want to talk about, all for it. Just know your shit. If you know your shit, then you're good. You understand what I'm saying? Like, put the information out there, the right information. And I'll give you an example. My brother, Ebe, okay? Mm-hmm. Ebe, to me, people might say, oh, he's just an influencer, whatever. I've been on press launches with Ebe. He's a journalist, okay? Ebe knows his shit. And that might have come from him riding so many bikes and having so many experiences with bikes. But Ebe, he may not be with, and if you want to say an accredited media magazine outlet, but Ebe, he is his own outlet, okay?
Yes.
But he knows what he's talking about. So, and I have to say one more thing. I also find that it has to do a lot with maturity. It has to do with maturity. Yeah. I'm going to use Ebe again. Ebe he's not a kid, okay? I'm not a kid. You're not a kid. We're grown men. So we understand weight, balance. We understand how things work in this world and the importance of speaking truths. So when you said earlier that if I say something or if someone that writes for me, if SBI publishes an article, we say this, it's called fact checking. It's called fact checking. And a lot of social media people don't fact check. Mm-hmm. They just regurgitate. They upchuck words. Yeah. And then it's like, oh yeah, I said it. They don't want to back down because clout. So, and anybody can say what they want to say. I just hope that when people say things, they understand that people are listening and that they would want to say the correct things. They should want to fact check. They should want to remove their personality. Look, if you say something sucks, okay, and it could very well suck.
Yeah.
Tell me why it sucks though. Why does it suck? If something is awesome, if something is rad, why is it rad? Okay, that's being a journalist, explaining, backing up your viewpoint. And again, going back to what Araldo taught me, hey, conviction. You have to be, if you believe it, it's not a hard sell. You're just talking about what you know, the truth, facts, specs, your experience. You can get into your personal experience with the product, but as far as actually just, man, I could go on for days about this. I've had, as you can imagine, I've had a lot of experience with people who have just said, oh, I want to write for your magazine. Well, okay, well, can you send me some examples of your work. No. Here's my gram. Okay, that's cool. I want to see that you can put words together, form sentences, and cohesive thoughts. No. Look at all the followers I got. I'm almost ready for a blue check. You know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of that. And it's kind of like, all right, well, let me know when you produce a work of words that I can review. Okay. And that's it. And then I usually don't hear from them again.
Well, it's easy. It's a lot easier for you to just post a caption and a photo or something than having to do a body of a work that's cohesive, that has a beginning, middle, and end, that can really convince someone. So that's a whole different other story. Yeah. But I would definitely love to see your magazine includes not basically move to videos, but to include that as an extension, because it definitely allows to reach a whole other group. I saw you did the Ducati press launch for the Pikes Peak, and that was pretty cool. I watched that a couple of times. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That was all. Shout out to my guy Jason. Jason, if you're still watching, I love you, man. Jason Chinnick, who's the CEO of Ducati North America, and I've been fortunate enough to, and again, going back to Geraldo, I've been very fortunate to make friends and family with the whole team over at Ducati North America. So thank you very much, my Ducati North America family, for including me on press launches as such. So I mentioned them obviously for the opportunity, but also a lot of press launches now are, you're not just getting your photo package, but you're also getting your video. So they have videographers out there with the photographers. So when you're getting your rolling shots and things like that, you're going to get your stills in your video. So it makes perfect sense that if the content is being provided, to make sure that the outlet, you put it up on your outlet. Yeah. And just this year, at the beginning of this year, we, SBI, we did launch the YouTube channel. And so we will be pushing out more content, the SBI feed, a weekly video drop, digest of things that have happened. And that will include, bike drops, things that we featured in the magazine, gear reviews, any video content that we receive or are a part of or produce that it now has a home. It now has a home. And we're really excited about that.
That's really awesome, man. And I think it's going to be a really, really cool thing because video, I do love great magazine work. I personally could appreciate it because with my background, I love a good spread, great layout that's very well current and everything else, words, no widow words or anything like that. So I personally can appreciate this, man. And I'm not just blowing smoke because I worked in that industry. So I can attest to that. But it's awesome to see you joining the whole movement with video and doing press launches. I think those are really, really cool, very impressive. I want to kind of shift gear a little bit. Sure. I want to talk about GP, but in the same vein, I want to talk about you getting involved with Ducati and almost, I don't know if I consider it a brand ambassador, but I think you most likely would say, I don't want to say things that's not 100% true. It's a very, very, I'm going to say this here. All right. I'm a Ducati guy and I love Ducati. All right. And Ducati has helped me a lot. So we slightly spoke about that earlier prior to going live. And they're a difficult company to get in bed with, or at least to do any kind of press work, to do any kind of positive. For example, the last launch of the Monster, the new Monster line of Monster Plus, the only press they did that allowed other people to join was girls only. And we know, of course, girls sell. So walk me through how you get involved with it. I'm not saying for you to tell me your deep secrets. I'm just saying how, just in general, how, of course, how that happened.
Oh,
man.
This is one of those, again, just the universe put me in the right room with the right people, or if you want to say the universe put the right people in the room with me, or just put us all together. But it's because of you put in the work. That's it. A lot of people, you just got to put in the work, man. And when you put in the work and you stay focused You make a decision, you make a choice, and you stick with your choice. You will find your way to be in the room, with the people that you want to be in with. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Jason and the family over at Ducati North America. Those guys, I've known them for years. Again, it's something that all of my new bikes have always been Ducatis. And I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where kismet, so to speak. I hope I'm not being too vague.
No. I know you're not being too vague. Just kind of really trying to touch, because it's a very, very complicated thing to kind of get into. And
but wait, I want to clarify something. I am not a brand ambassador for Ducati. I am a friend of the brand, a family member of the brand. So just to be clear, for all transparency, I am considered a friend of the brand, family of the brand. I'm also the president of the Philadelphia Ducati Owners Club. So, you just put in the work.
Yeah, I definitely understand, man, when you say put in the work, because I think a lot of people, where it takes a very, very long period of time before they actually even get to the point where they can actually just even receive that opportunity, even after years and years. Again, like you said, you don't even really call yourself a brand ambassador for them, but heavily affiliated in a respectable space. That's one of the biggest thing. And I think one of the thing that most major key players are fearful of, again, we're going to backtrack to that same thing we said a little bit earlier. Our industry is very small, very niche. You sneeze here, somebody say, God bless you over there. So they're very, very mindful when we're talking about perception of their brand.
Sure.
And they're very, the Italians are very to the chest. They love what they do. They love what they've created. And, they'll be damned probably to allow someone to tarnish it. I think that's what we tend to see.
If I can give you one quick story where I think I cemented my family ship with Ducati. 2010, the Diavel, not ex-Diavel, the original Diavel was introduced. 2011, March, Daytona. I took delivery of the first Diavel in the United States. I rode her home from Daytona to Pennsylvania and then on to New York for a photo shoot. The following week after I got home, Ducati North America had a national event, Diavel's Night. It was held all across the country. Dealerships used off-campus venues to host events. And the bike that I had the privilege of riding was the Carbon. It was just a beautiful, black on black Carbon. She was fantastic. But the venue for the local dealership asked me to ride the bike through a restaurant. The venue was on top of a restaurant, it was a terrace. So I had to ride the bike through a restaurant, onto an elevator, onto the rooftop terrace. And so there's these pictures of me riding this bike through a restaurant, elevator, rooftop, whatever. That is when those images made it back to Italy. Great event, fantastic, badass. Look, I was the most badass motherfucker. And it was funny because when I took my helmet off, everybody was like, oh, this is amazing. But when I took my helmet off, a couple of people, mostly older guys of a certain age, they were like, their claps got slower, right? But a lot of the ladies in the room were like, oh! They were super excited.
Oh, man. There's always that barrier, man.
I had so much fun tonight. It was those photos made it back to Italy. And I think that is kind of how the legend of Black Moses began and my family ship with the brand. And again, of course, people knew that Araldo's Faraci's history with Ducati. it just kind of, I had a cosign from Aeriel without really having a cosign. So when people were asking about me, you talk about integrity and you talk about brands are very careful about who they associate themselves with. So again, coming before the idea of being a brand ambassador or being a social media influencer, I was just a guy who was good at what he does and what he did. And, I just was fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time to meet the people that I met when I met them. And to this day, Claudio Domenicali, I'm sure you know.
Of course.
You know.
Come on.
Okay. So when Claudio and I see each other, it took me a minute to get used because he's very expressive and, Italians, very passionate. Claudio makes such a big deal about, and I love it because now I match his energy. He'll be very serious, just he's conversation and his arms are crossed and he's doing this with the hand and he's just, he's directing things with the hands but still crossed. And he'll see me. Oh! And he gets so excited and he'll run and we'll hug. But it's that, and it's the same thing with is everybody over at Ducati. They're, in my opinion, they're probably one of the most understood brands. Okay.
You said misunderstood or understood brand?
Most misunderstood.
Okay, yes, because I was gonna say you absolutely misunderstood because
understood. They have welcomed me, and again, it has nothing to do with anything other than work ethic, okay, and just being a good human being, a good citizen of the universe. That's where the synergy is, and I ride their product. I ride what they make, okay, so. You put all those things together and then you have your son. It just makes sense. It's synergy. The fact that we all get along and we consider each other a family and we talk and we hang out and we have fun and we do business together, that's a fringe benefit. It just comes together.
Okay. So I just want to, I'm going to transition again, guys. We jump into a lot because there's quite a few to cover and I want to make sure that we are looking at every single thing and anything that's really, really interesting and that's very cool. Alan is a very avid track rider, right? We're going to roll a little clip here of him shredding really hard in the New York track. And I think that's pretty cool. So take a look at that.
I've never
This is just a preference. You know, I want to talk about what do you prefer, street or track, and how do you see they impact one another. But this is Alan riding, guys, through the New York Jersey track here, which you'll see me eventually in there too as well. All blacked out Ducati, of course. Yeah, man. So that was definitely one of his big clips. Again, I kept it nice and light where it's not too heavy, guys. Alan, please, sir, walk us through track days and street. What is your favorite? What do you prefer, man? You have the floor right now.
Thanks, man. Well, one, I want to make sure you know that was definitely that I've never ridden New York track. That was New Jersey Motorsports Park. That's my home track.
Okay. Shout
out to my family at Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville. They take really, really great care of me. And big shout out to the New Jersey Motorsports Park Riders Club. Shout out to N2, all the clubs that do track days at New Jersey. Honestly, I have to tell you, I love street. I was raised by the streets. It sounds weird to say that. I was raised by the streets.
Wait. I'm gonna have to pause you there for a second, guys. Just because he said he was raised by the street, this guy have both his mom and dad. Okay, He
All right, so
didn't literally mean that. He's talking about in terms of passion for motorcycle riding in the street. Just because it's two black men talking, we both had mom and dads. Calm down.
Yeah. Yes. My mom and my daddy every other day. That's right. I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and I'll never let them forget it. So, no, honestly, bro, like, streets spark the fire, but there is absolutely nothing like riding on the track. There's absolutely nothing. I don't care how fast you are on the street. I don't care what street you've ridden on. I don't care what canyon. I don't care. Riding on the track is it's that moment. It's the moment. It is the riding on the track is the moment. Okay? If you think about the individuals who are barely human, more alien than human. We're talking about GP, we're talking about World Superbike, we're talking about Moto America, we're talking about all professional levels of riders of our sport, of our method of transportation. These are athletes, and the level that they ride at, they don't ride like that on the street. They ride like that on the track, okay? Yeah. Because the track allows them to do these, what could be perceived as superhuman things that they do, the speeds, the lean angles. And as risky as it is, it's actually the safest place to do it. There's no comparison. To answer your question, if I was asked, okay, what do you want to ride today? Street or track? It's going to be track every goddamn time. Every damn time.
I think there's one thing that happens after you've ridden the street and the track. We all know there's a cool aspect about motorcycles, right? When you first get into motorcycles, you have a bike. You feel like all eyes is on you all the time. Where you're out, people see you. I think when you get past that aspect of riding, and then you want to refine your skill level, you want to really push your limit. Because again, we all buy these really amazing, really fast bikes that you really can't take a fraction of it, of the power, of the performance that you have. You can actually really use it out in the street. Once you get past that aspect, right, you start going to the track and learning a lot more and really enjoying yourself. I think from what I'm hearing from a lot of people, once they've done track days, it's very hard to see them riding the street again. It's not just you. This is something I've heard a lot.
I still ride street. Okay, but I ride differently. It's an interesting mental process. I ride with more common sense on the street now. I ride more defensively. I have my moments. I have what I call my get out of Dodge moments when, the fact that I'm on a machine that can do what it does doesn't mean that I always need to push the envelope. I know what it's capable of, and there's a time and a place for that. And it is my maturity. It's, again, I have a wife, and I have a beautiful wife at home. I have beautiful sons. I have responsibilities. My job is to come home. So when I go for a ride on the street, I've been fast. And I'm not fast now. Okay, but I have fun. Even on the track, I'm not the fast guy. But I'm having fun, and I'm doing what I want to do and what I feel are the appropriate arenas to do what I want to do. And I encourage everybody, look, if you think you're fast on the street, you're not really fast. Go to the track. One, you're going to find out what fast is. So you're going to have a better time. And you're probably not going to, hopefully you have less chance to hurt yourself or hurt someone else. It's about, look, Mike, I'm going to say it's about minimizing the fuckery. You got to minimize
the risk. I agree. Would you say this is why I see a lot of your clips, you're always on your Diavel and not on your Superbike? So I'm assuming that you're saving that for when you're on the track, and every time you're out there, you're coasting on your Diavel, right? This is why I'm seeing that quite a bit, and that's what I kind of interpret it as.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's X Diablo, 2016 X Diablo S, and that bike has plenty of get up and go. Like I said, I can get the hell out of Dodge if I want to, but and it's just a different state of mind. It's a different state of mind. I am literally cruising. I'm literally cruising. And even like I have my 18 V4S Panigale V4S. I've been putting just some braking miles on her. And I don't know if she's going to be a track machine. I have my 14 Galley 1199S. That's my dedicated track bike. But it's more mental.
Okay.
It's more of a just understanding a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting thing. I think it's great seeing that or hearing people's opinion on riding either street or being on the road, because I mainly ride street, but I've been heavily influenced by a lot of people that's telling me, hey, you got to check this out. You definitely have to go to the track. But guys, I just want to kind of highlight this. Another thing here. We're just going to switch gears to something a little bit lighter, guys. We're going to talk about the ladies. That was a reference for Bill Burr, if you guys like Bill Burr, by the way. Red Bull Girls.
Here comes my buddy Jason Lonemaker with the Red Bull Girls, and I'm talking about 10 of the finest looking promotional umbrella girl models, whatever. These girls walked in after a long day. Now, these girls had a long day at the track doing promo stuff. They're the official Red Bull models. So you would think that after an 8-hour day of these girls hitting the asphalt in the pumps, walking around, smiling, taking pictures, that they would walk in looking a little tired. Not the case. They walked in, stole the show. It was a party before they got there. When they walked in, it turned into something else. You gotta give the love to those who are giving love.
So the reason why I actually brought this up, Alan, I just want to hear your thoughts and take on our industry changing, and we're no longer having grid girls. I think that is a big miss for everyone. Just my personal take on it. I think it was a beautiful thing. I think us gentlemen, and I'm talking about the gentlemen, okay? I'm not talking about some old crazy stuff here, gentlemen. We appreciate beautiful women and value them highly. And we don't take any offense, or we don't try to be very offensive to anyone. So just wanted to hear your takes on the fact that we don't have any more grid girls, and that's like a huge miss for me.
I agree with you that it's a miss. When you use the word grid girl, you can use the word promotional model. You can just break it down to model. There is a world of models. It's a job. It's an occupation. It is how people support themselves. So being a man, and I tell my wife all the time, I don't know what it is like to think like a woman. I don't know. We could do this. We experience the same event, good, bad, worse, or indifferent. But she will process it in a different way than my male wiring will process it. Thus, my reaction could differ from hers. So I say that to say, whatever the reason was, the complaint that sparked the ultimate termination of that occupation or put it on pause, I can't speak as to why it grew into what it grew. Mm-hmm. I can say this, though, that if the opportunity for someone to provide for themselves, their family, their child, is if you're taking food off of the plate, and if the young ladies, if the models willingly hire themselves, and I've been around the paddock as much as I've been on international paddocks, national paddocks, local paddocks, where umbrella girls, I've never seen an umbrella girl, an umbrella model, promotional model. I've hired promotional models. I've never had them or seen them treated unkind or in a manner that they did not want to be treated in. And I'm saying that it was always with respect. It was always with professionalism. It was a job. when the job was over, they clocked out. Okay, end of the day. Okay, great. Thank you. You know, and we'll take care of the paperwork. You know, it's a job. I don't really, you know, I think it's, I don't want to say I don't have a dog in the hunt, but I just think it's a shame when I know some women, some models that would much prefer to be working than not. Does that make sense?
I agree.
Like they weren't the ones. A lot of them, you know, in conversation, like, this is bullshit. I was depending on that gig for that portion of money for that month.
Yeah.
Who's really winning? Is anybody winning? I don't think so.
I guess some weird ideology is winning. I'd say, let's put it in in this manner. But I like I said, I think most men are very respectful in our industry. Granted, this is not to say everybody's perfect. I'm sure everybody, you know, might make a snarky comment with amongst each other. And I think men are most likely to make snarky comments with each other instead of to someone to be offensive. So, well, but never.
Listen, I've had my butt pinched in the paddock. It happens, okay? So, nobody shutting down my position, okay? I'm fine. I moved on. Okay, I got myself together. Okay,
that's how it is, man.
It is.
But I think it's definitely a huge miss. I think for MotoGP and motorcycling. I think it was always beautiful when you saw the bikes, the racers all suited up, and the girls and stuff like that, the models. I think it was awesome, and I've never heard any horror stories, so I thought it was kind of weird that kind of been removed out of our industry. So
listen, I'm going to say this. Let me say this. Unpopular opinion, and you might get, I don't know how people are going to respond. Okay, but Dana White really is an umbrella girl for the board. Okay, think about it. Dana White, promotional model. She don't even have to turn the thing. Remember, she used on the wheel of fortune, she used to have to turn little light up tiles. Yep. Now she just touches them because it's digital. Okay.
Yeah.
Vanna White still got a job.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So, Alan, yes, any good words of wisdom you would have for anybody out there that's part of this industry that wants to be in it? Because you asked me a very cool question earlier, and that was off camera. And the funny thing is, Eve asked me the very same question several years ago when I met him, and I think I've answered him wrong. And you just asked me that. You asked me, what do I want to do with this?
Yes. So I'll answer again. What do you want to do?
Oh, you're turning this on me.
Work, bro.
Oh, okay. Man.
Work.
Oh, man. So I love what I do. Personally, I really love what I do. All right. And I think it'd be kind of insanity if I gave you the same answer that I gave Eve when I did give him that answer. Granted, I was a couple of years younger, probably a little bit more naive. In my honest opinion, I want to make this a full-time career. I don't think I've ever said this before. I think this is the first time ever that I've said this. I'm very passionate about motorcycles, a lot. Okay, and I'm really big into videography. I believe I do that well. I have a decent personality, I think. So I think we can definitely, I could see myself really propelling in that category. Just in the motorcycling content creation aspect, I think I want to do that full time. This is the first time I think I've admittedly said this out loud.
I love it.
And make it a career, a paying career, not just, I don't want to be coy about it where it's like, hey, I'm just doing this for fun. I want it to be able to pay all my bills and take care of my family.
Do you know what you just did?
What?
You just made a decision. You just made a choice. You just made a choice. Make some noise for your choice. Salute your choice. Make some noise for your choice. Okay? Now you have to
put into work.
Put in the work and follow up. You just put it out into the universe. The universe is going to help you. Okay? Look, it's not. Look, I'm not gonna get all mystic on you, but it's not. There's just chance that you and I are having this conversation right now, and I asked you that question. Okay, I told you before you are appreciated, necessary, and hashtag Black Moses certified. Okay, so I'm going to say this to you, man. Look, you asked me briefly, quickly before I interjected you, what advice, okay, would I give? And it's not just about doing the work. Okay, you have to do good work.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to fuck up. You are going to fuck up. Okay. I still fuck up. Okay. But I'm human. So it's you fall down 7, stand up 8. You keep going. Okay. You're going to learn. You're going to figure things out. You're going to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And you're going to get away from the things that don't work. And there's going to be people that tell you you can't do it. You shouldn't. They're going to give you every reason, and most of them are going to make sense. The reasons why you should not do what you're trying to do. You have to ignore them and keep going. I'm telling you, what you just told me you want to do is beyond. Wait, what's the word? How should I say this? It's so possible. It's so possible.
I'll take it.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Okay? It's going to happen because you want it to. And I can tell, man, you want it to happen. And dude, yeah, I'm really happy you said that. I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations to beginning your career. Make some noise for that.
I'll take it. I'll take it, man. So I'm going to give you the floor, Alan. I want you to just let the people know where they could find you, where they could find your work, the body of work, and where they can follow you. Actually, also, guys, definitely, if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it if you guys go to Instagram. Just going to throw that up right now and give Mr. Black Moses, a.k.a. Alan, a follow. Take a look at his feed, man. Oh, we forgot to touch up on guns, man. So cool.
You know what? That's part 2. Bring me back. I'm your most electrifying guest so far. Bring me back.
I'm game, dude. And his bike collection is nasty. Definitely give him a follow, man. Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to give you the floor. Let the people know, man, where they can find you, about your work, and some of their best practices, man. It's all you.
Yes, thank you, brother. Mike, I appreciate you once again. Please follow the Instagram, Mr. Black Moses Official. There's Sport Bikes Inc. On Instagram as well. Please check out on the daily Sport Bikes Inc. mag. That's Sport Bikes INC mag.com. If you're a coffee drinker, please check out Hard Knocks Moto Coffee. We're currently the coffee supplier for the HSBK Ducati Warhorse team in Moto America. Make sure you get some great coffee delivered right to your door, hardknocksmoto.com. If you're on YouTube, and obviously you are, please make sure you follow Sport Bikes Inc. Mag and follow my Mr. Black Moses on YouTube as well. And shout outs to my family at Ducati North America. Shout out to my family at Ducati Motor Holdings, my family at Icon, my wife, my beautiful wife, Stacy, I love you. My boys, Brock and Tyler. And yeah, man, shout out to you, Mike. Shout out to, wait, real quick, I gotta make sure I give a shout out. Shout out to my big brother, Tyson. Shout out to my big bro. To my big bro, Jason. My big sis, Kendi. Shout out to Ebe. Thinking I'm somebody's son, you lost your damn mind. I love you, bro. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you.
Guys, so we're going to do what we do as always before we wrap up the entire stream. We're going to take a look at the comment section. If you have any questions for myself or Mr. Allen, a.k.a. Black Moses, I'm going to put him up and we'll be able to read him. You will not see Alan, but he will be able to see the comments and we both will be replying. So this is your opportunity to drop some comments, guys. And again, we appreciate everybody that's tuning in and watching, whether you're watching this today live. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you're watching it later or listening to it while you're driving to work, hit the thumbs up. Helps with the algorithm. And if you're not sub, why not? That's kind of a foolish thing. You know what I mean? So what's really what's my next bike? Jason here is asking. So you know I might as well start pulling these up. Hang in there.
Who was that? Was that Jason Chenick?
That's Jason, man.
That's the bro. He's the if he's asking for a reason.
Why are you asking for this reason? What's the reason?
Just answer the question, man.
All right, cool. Give me a second. We're gonna put it up real quick. Yeah, man. Right now, so as you guys know, you could probably see my little mini stable back there. Got a couple of bikes. Not a lot. Nothing major. Nothing Black Moses level. But your boy's working. I'm grinding. So hopefully I'm able to get myself together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And continue pushing forwards, man. And it's all about working hard. You can make anything you want happen, guys. I told you people that a little bit earlier. Somebody had asked me about bikes and prices of bikes. I say focus on yourself. That way you can kind of put yourself in the right position to get what you want, guys. That's how it goes. All right. Just going to cut through this real quick. It's me. What up? Man, I really, really love and enjoy doing this stream, guys. It's really, really cool, man. It's nice sitting here with everybody just chatting up. Let's see what we got. Let's pull up some of these comments. Quite a few, man. Wow. So we have Jason Chinook is asking, what's your next bike? So I'm on the fence a little bit. Me personally here, I have the Street Fighter V4S. I got the Hyper, and I also have a Monster. And I've been super on the fence about getting a SuperBike because I really want one, and you just gotta have one no matter what. And the V4S is in my line of sight, and I was looking at a BMW and an Aprilia. So I'm kind of debating between the three, but that's where I'm at, and that's what I want. That's what's gonna complete my collection as of now. So still a lot to kind of decide on, but there's a lot of Ducati love, at least in my home, man.
Good. Good.
We have Anthony Lamastro, his awesome stream, Clutch. Yeah, man, appreciate it. I think you came in kind of midway through. Definitely smash that thumbs up and probably watch it all the way through. And there's a lot of great gems here and really, really dope conversation with Alan, guys.
Thank you.
Dragon She here mentioned, shout out to Black Moses, the king of it all. The heavy grinder, the heavy hitter. Yeah, man, your name ring bells, dude. Immediately once I posted you on Instagram about the post, I was getting tons of private DMs like, "Yo, you know who this guy is? Yeah, man, he's big. He's from my hood. He's from Philly." Like it was just kind of cascading down. So really, really cool. We have Motorcycle Therapy saying, "What's up?" I'm getting a little motivation here from Futuristic Viper.
There you go. Make some noise.
Make some noise. I'll take it, man. Let's see what else I got. Speak it to existence. The universe is listening. Yeah, man. I definitely like my career a lot. I like working. I just think me being able to do motorcycle work and doing cinematography is going to allow me more time with my family and being able to spend time with my wife. That's probably the most important thing personally to me. So,
yo, Mike, that's the homie Slim Rides, man. She's a homie right there. Slim Rides, that's good people. That's family right there.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen her on social media. I think I've seen her before. Her bike is new, right?
Yeah. She's before. She's cool. She's good people.
That's cool. Subscribe if you're new. Might as well just tell you now. Show some love. All right, here we go. Let me keep on rocking here through here. Let's see what I got here. Guys, it's always a little bit fine combing when I'm looking through comments because there's so many just thoughts being dropped down as we're talking. So filtering through that is one of those things. Jason is the best company CEO all around. He's always on the ground level, showing support for his brand. Salute.
Yes.
That's from Eve. So he's in the mix. He's out there, so he knows. And if he's also one of those guys. If he's mentioning something or says it, I would not even question it. So he's out there.
Yeah.
Futuristic Viper mentioned here, would I ever get an XD Oval? So I came in very close to trading the Hyper to getting an XD Oval or XD Oval S. I can't wrap my head around with the foot forward position, so I would have to do a middle one.
Bro, just try it. You'll love it. Just try it. If you haven't ridden, just try it. You'll change your perspective. Just sit on it. You'll love it.
All right. But my wife threatened to choke me if I sold any one of my bikes, so it's either gonna be an add-on or I can't get rid of stuff. So, Adobo Moto mentioned here, it's strange that in the world of modern day marketing and branding, that the Ducati brand message is exclusivity, and everyone seems to be going the community and inclusivity route. That's a great comment. I think it holds something where we might have to all talk about for a little bit. What's your thought on this, Alan?
That's what I was saying earlier, that Ducati is one of the most misunderstood brands. Granted, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it might have been something different. But now it's not just about, they don't just want to have people, obviously they want to sell as many bikes as they want to, but they understand part of that is part of moving the product is creating a community, and a global community at that. So how do you create a global community? You have to go out and you have to meet people. You have to walk the earth. You have to ride the asphalt. That's what Ducati has done. Again, they are just, it's like they open up the door and say, look, we got to see that there's a table. If you want to have a seat, come on in. We'll talk about things. It's one of the most inviting, most welcoming manufacturers. They're not selling bikes, man. They're selling lifestyle.
So here's my take on it also. I think, yes, I do agree they are selling a lifestyle. I think what Ducati is doing, they're being very strategic, or at least very careful about controlling their image. Of course. When we're talking about influencers, moto vloggers, content creators, there's a very slim line. We have a group of guys that's honorable, that can produce great content, that respectable, that are not vulgar or not doing anything extremely crazy. And then you have the group that's looking for a lot of clout that are going extra, they're going really hard. And again, there's nothing wrong with that because they're trying to make their own path. They're trying to find their own stretch. But the chances of them rolling that dice and saying, oh, let's try it on one of those guys, the impact of that happening in a negative light, the amount of L they would take financially, I think they're very fearful after you built a brand, especially when you're talking about Ducati, when they've had a lot of downs where they had some wiring issues, some leak issues, where the company was sold a couple of times to the point now Audi is their main owner and then their umbrella, and they're doing amazingly well. So I think they're treading very lightly and being very careful. Granted, would I have loved them to say, hey man, we love what you do, you're a Ducati guy, and we've combed through your channel, you're respectable, I can we'll send you a bike for a review. That'd be great. But they don't. I mean, it is what it is. That's how it goes. I think they could take a page from what Triumph is doing. Triumph does it in a very tailored manner. Somebody that they accustomed to working with, someone they've seen their work, their body of work, and in a way that even they could do constructive criticism, negative criticism in a manner where it's not going to hurt the brand. So maybe they could take a page from that. What do you think, Alan?
Mike, my point is, do they need to? You know what I mean? Like, do they need to? And I would say, honestly, I don't think they do. I think that what they're, and I'm not saying that as somebody on the inside, I'm saying that as a journalist, I'm removing my emotions from it. It's, if you have a product that sells itself, okay, they don't need to do that. And I think a lot of manufacturers don't need to do that. Nobody is really making a bad motorcycle right now. No one really is. If you think about the technology and everything that's coming off the lines right now, just about every SuperBike or just about every bike right now really has star qualities or star features. Nobody's making a bad bike. So if a company chooses to have outreach, that's their choice. And it's great because that's their methodology of marketing. But if a company doesn't do that, I don't think that it's a mark against them. It's just something that maybe they just don't have a need for at this juncture, or something that they're not interested in at this juncture. It could change, but I don't see, if we're talking specifically about Ducati, I don't see them hurting for not.
Yeah, they're definitely not hurting. They're not hurting from it, but I think in the perspective that the way things are moving towards, I think what Adobo Moto is mentioning here is the wave of how things are happening. It's changing. It's a possibility to keep that door open in case. So that's probably what it is. But you're absolutely right. They're winning a lot of championships. That V4 engine is like top of the line. Their designs are top tier. So they don't really feel like they need anyone to sell their stuff. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Gonna pull up Ebe here. He mentioned here that the track is fun, especially when you're riding and hanging out with your mates. 100. Yeah. A lot of people are telling me the same thing doing track days, is that if you can do a small one, that way it's a controlled environment, especially if you're new, that's the way to go, and it'll be a pretty static time. Would you agree, Alan?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you're not going to say less experienced in a derogatory manner, but if you just haven't done a lot of track days, it's a different environment. And so to take that world and make it smaller and more focused, yeah, that's probably, I agree with Eva so much, yeah.
I'm just going to pull this comment up here because I have like a tangent on it just to kind of, this is by Futuristic Viper also. I do think for a street rider, when you go track riding, you may get stuck in the track riding mode in the street. I don't think so. I think track really teach you how to refrain yourself, because you start understanding the dangers of the street, because there's no sliding area. There's no like leathers. You could hit a telephone pole. You could hit a car. You could hit an oncoming bus. So I think you actually slow down, to be honest.
I agree 100%. On the track, everybody's going in the same direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so wide. You have, 8 to 10 lane width to ride on. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a mental thing. On the streets, like I have a V4S that I most likely, when I go out on the street now, I still take my XD Ovo. It's just a different state of mind. The track helps you to slow things down. Just helps you slow things down.
So the other thing too, the reason why I kind of grabbed his comment is the overall cost of track. I think one of the main reasons that a lot of people are not jumping the track or doing it as often, I think they're between $250 to maybe $350 per track day. You also need a trailer. You need somewhere to bring your bike. There's a lot that really goes into becoming a track rider as well. I think it's not as convenient for everybody, but it's definitely an experience to have, I think.
But if you think about what you get in return, your return on investment. Let's say if you, all in all, you chalk your track day up to $750, maybe $1,000. Let's just say $1,000. You go all out, $1,000. Okay, you get to ride, and for the most part, 15 to 20 minute sessions from say 9 until 5, depending on the track, the day, time of year. Okay, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
I have another comment here by Motorcycle Therapy. Some dealers can also be a factor. I'm making breaking the Ducati as a brand.
I agree 100%.
Go ahead.
I agree 100%. It's not, like I said, I deal mostly on a. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Did I lose you?
No, okay. I'm here.
I deal mostly on a corporate level, but again, as I mentioned earlier, that sometimes in dealership situations, the brand itself is not an elitist brand. There are some individuals that work for the brand that are elitist. Does that make sense?
Like anything though. That's not just Ducati though.
Right. Like I said, some people, the brand is not elitist. The brand is welcoming and open. But there's been plenty of times I've walked into a dealership and have been ignored. And it's me. I'm big, black. You can't miss me, okay? I have been ignored. And you know what? I chalk it up to understanding what the situation is and knowing that I can get on a phone call and I can get what I want. But yeah, it's an individual thing. 9 times out of 10, it's an individual thing.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Just going to say, I'm going to bring Mr. Black Moses here one more time before we cut out the night. I appreciate everyone tuning in. And again, for some of you that I did miss your comment, don't get upset. Again, it's a lot. I'm just kind of scrolling through it, and I'm trying not to have any dead space. I really, truly appreciate everyone tuning in, saying what's up, hitting the thumbs up, and showing love to myself, and of course, Mr. Allen, aka Black Moses. If you're completely unaware, then you're not in the mix, guys. Definitely follow him on social media. We're talking about Instagram. He's fairly new to YouTube, and I would love for us to give him a warm welcome and subscribe. If you're watching this later, go subscribe to him as well, because we want his legacy to continue as far as he can. This guy's evolving. He's not staying steady, and I love that, and I see a little bit of myself in him as well when I see somebody moving in that way. So that's very inspiring to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's been really, really real. And Alan, anything you want to say before we bounce?
Mike, I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. And you are 100% hashtag Black Moses certified. Holla at your boy. I want to be back, man. You better bring me back on.
Oh, come on.
More stuff to
That's a no-brainer. You're always welcome. I'm gonna make my way towards Philly, and of course. Oh, by the way, I'll see you at MotoGP, guys. I almost forgot to mention this. I will be down in Texas for about a week and a half or so. So if you're out there, you're viewing this, and you're gonna be out in GP, come through, say hi. I'm gonna be in the Motivation headquarters, and of course, I'll be with Alan as well out there, man. It's really dope, guys.
I appreciate you.
Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys later on the next one. Peace.
Peace.